Hello everyone, I am Jonathan Little for PokerNews.com, and before we get started with this fun hand today where I probably make a little bit of a mistake, I want to tell you about my training site, PokerCoaching.com. There we have over 400 interactive quizzes, very much like this video, so if you've been watching these on Poker News and you want more, go to PokerCoaching.com and check them out. Instead of you just watching me play, I actually allow you to play, and then I give you my advice on all the situations that you go through. We also have a few other coaches there teaching cash games, tournaments, deep stacks, shallow stacks, and it's completely free to sign up for a trial. So go there, sign up for free, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, in this hand, we're playing a $5,000 tournament. Hijack, a tight aggressive player raises to 250. I defend queen nine suited in the big blind. This hand is great. Don't fold it. Don't 3-bet it. Call and try to get a flop with the hand that flops very, very well. All right, flop comes queen 10-8. And in this situation, some people think, well, I need to lead because there are a lot of draws available, and there are also lots of hands that I can get called by, which is true, but in this scenario, it's very clear that the opponent has a range advantage. The tight aggressive opponent should have a lot of big cards and decent middle cards. So how do big cards and decent middle cards connect with this board? Well, it nails it, right? So you definitely do not want to lead in these scenarios. If the board was instead lower, like 9-7-6, that's a board where I can lead sometimes. But even then, I typically don't do a whole lot of leading, just because people continuation bet too often, it seems, in today's games. And if they continuation bet too often, that allows you to defend very, very wide or check raise them very, very often with lots and lots of draws, and they can't defend often enough. So I am not a big fan of leading yet, but if people start checking behind at roughly the right frequency, leading will become way better. All right, so I'm going to check, and if my opponent does bet, I'm just going to check call. And the reason I'm going to check call instead of check raise is, again, because the opponent has a range advantage. The opponent has all the aces, kings, queens, tens, eights, ace, queen, queen, jack, right? And all those hands crush me. So I don't want to check raise if the opponent does bet. So now the opponent checks. What does that do to his range? Usually that's going to make the opponent's range have a lot of marginal made hands in it. That's going to be queen, jack, and worse. And I'm in pretty great shape against that. And then it's going to be a lot of tens, which I'm in great shape against. A lot of eights, which I'm in great shape against, right? It's also going to be some draws with showdown value, like ace, king, ace, jack, maybe ace, nine, maybe king, jack, and king, nine. You'd have to think king, jack, and king, nine would bet the flop. But that's roughly what we're going to be against. And then maybe some give-ups, like 5-4 of diamonds or pocket threes. So it does go check, check. Turn is a jack. And now, should we better check? Well, if the opponent does have ace-king, we just lost. If the opponent has ace-10, he's probably not going to fold. If he has queen-jack, he's not going to fold. Jack-10, he's not going to fold. Any of those hands, basically, the opponent's not going to fold. So we certainly can bet for value. This is a spot where, also, I should probably have more nines on my opponent, or at least a lot of the nines, because I would always check my nines on the flop, but the opponent would bet some of their nines on the flop. So that means I have all the nines, the opponent has fewer of them. So I definitely have a range advantage here. I don't know if I have a range advantage. I definitely have the nut advantage. There are two I guess, matrices you want to look at. You want to look at who has the range advantage, just who, if you run their range against your range, who wins more than 50% of the time. And then also who has more premium hands in their range. And we probably have more premium hands, even though the opponent may have a range advantage. So whenever you have the premium, or the nut advantage, you have more nut hands in your range. Very often it does make sense just to bet. I decided to check here, though. And I think checking's fine. And the opponent bets rather big. 500 into 550. So what do we think about this? Well, I didn't think the opponent would bet very often, and he's betting big, which makes me think the opponent probably has a lot of straights. Obviously, like I said, the opponent could have ace-king. Maybe he has ace-9 or king-9. I thought he'd probably bet ace-9 or king-9, but he could have those. Would the opponent bet two pair here? That would be silly, I think. So in this scenario, the opponent's range should be a lot of total garbage and nut hands. So if the opponent's range is total garbage, well, he's going to fold to any raise, so I definitely want to call and let him stay in the pot when he has total garbage, like 5-4 diamonds, right? And if he does have a 9, well, he's never going to fold that. So the only time raising in this spot makes sense is if I become very convinced that the opponent would bet a hand like Jack-10 on the turn or Queen-Jack on the turn and then not fold it to a raise. So I definitely like calling. But this time I raise, and I don't like this. This is this is a clear overplay of this spot. And I'm very unhappy that this is what's taking place. Whoops. Very embarrassing for me. I'm misclicking all over my computer. I'm so embarrassed. This is just overplaying this hand. I'm sure there are some spots in live poker where you can look and generally think your opponent is uneasy about their hand. And if you do think that and you're willing to make the play based on it, then sure, raising may become the right play, especially if you think they'll call with Queen Jack because, or Jack 10 or something like that, because they know I should be raising here if I have more nines. That said, I really shouldn't be raising here all that often because my opponent shouldn't be betting all that often. And so I don't like this play at all. I think I just need to check call and then let my opponent stay in with this whole range. Opponent does call. River's a 10. It's not what I wanted, right? Seems like an easy check to me. But we bet 2K. You know, there's a chance I didn't play this hand. There's a chance someone else played this hand and I input it. But I don't like this bet at all. In this scenario, I think I have a pretty easy check on the river. If I am going to bet, I think we need to bet even smaller because we're trying to get called by like a hero called king, queen, ace, queen. Be like a big hero call though, right? Maybe queen, jack for a hero call. I don't think we need to go this big. Because now, if our opponent has a 9, he's always calling, right? If he has a boat, he's always going to raise. The problem is he may even decide to raise with something like queen, jack, or ace, queen as a bluff, which I don't think would be all that bad. Especially queen, jack, because if I have a lot of 9s here, and my opponent's blocking the boats, right? It means that he's going to be able to make me fold out some 9s sometimes. And I would have folded this if he raised me. So I don't like this bet. I think I'm supposed to check and then just check call reluctantly. He decides to call. And he has king, 9 of hearts, and I lose. So this was a very bad hand. Big, big mistake. And I'm trying to even come up with a way to justify why I possibly would have made this play. And it just doesn't make sense. I think I would have had to assume the opponent thinks I'm a lunatic. If the opponent thinks I'm a lunatic, then this becomes way better. And, you know, sometimes I show up to $5,000 buy-in tournaments and play a little bit overly aggressive, or maybe I just get good cards and I play overly aggressive for a while. But in any normal situation, this hand was drastically overplayed by me. There are certainly some players I know who I would play against in this manner who I know are very call happy against me. Like if they're just going to call every time I bet or raise because they think I bluff too much, then that's certainly a reason to take a line like this. But in general, this is a bad line. If I was making a quiz for pokercoaching.com, let's go back to the flop. Check, call, flop, clearly. Check, call, turn. Best play by far. If you are going to raise, I mean, I guess a smaller size is better than a bigger size. So I would give calling 10 points, raise small like 8 points, raising big 4 points. Folding obviously is 0 points. And then on the river, I think we definitely need to check. Like 10 points out of 10 for checking. Bet small, like 1,400 would probably get like 8 points. And as you bet bigger, it would just become worse and worse. So I don't like this line. Sometimes you have to embarrass yourself in public to make sure you don't make the same mistakes in the future. So don't count on any hands like this coming up in the near future. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Good luck in your games. Thank you to Poker News for hosting this videos, even though sometimes I misplay hands. And good luck in your games.